Hello and welcome to Exploring Christianity, a Journey of Faith. For those of you who are watching these videos as they're released, I hope you had a wonderful summer. Our first video after the summer will echo the beginning of many school years with the theme of what I did and didn't do during my summer vacation and what I learned about God and service in the process. I've gotten pretty busy this past spring. I started a new job in May, which I really enjoy, but there's always a lot to learn in a new job. I taught GED math 2 nights a week as a volunteer for the local literacy council, and of course I wrote and recorded these videos with my wonderful friend Colin. This summer Colin had a lot of important demands on his time, so we decided to put these videos on hiatus until fall. Then the literacy council director suggested that I take the summer off since there aren't many GED students during the summer. And after the first couple of months I was getting the hang of my new job, and so it was not as demanding as it was at first. Suddenly I found that I would have a lot more time on my hands this summer than I usually do, and I was looking forward to the break. And I did have a nice summer. I had fun with my family and friends. I got a few things done that I somehow never seemed to have time to work on. I spent time reading and relaxing. But as the summer drew to an end, I found that I had wandered a lot further from God than I typically do. I was feeling strangely disconnected from God, and I was having a hard time drawing near again. I struggled to motivate myself to do the things that I knew brought me closer to God, and when I actually did them, I found that they felt oddly empty. As I pondered what was going on, I became convinced that my break from serving my neighbors and my distance from God were related. I took the extra time that I had on my hands that I usually use focusing on my neighbors, and instead I used it focusing on me. I spent a lot of time doing what I want, what I enjoy, what makes me happy, and it seemed that the more I focused on me, the less I felt like focusing on God. Instead of reading the Bible or spiritual books, I was reading more fiction because that's what I felt like doing. I wasn't getting up an hour early to start my day with a prayer walk because I wanted to sleep another hour instead. After all, I'd been working hard. Didn't I deserve to do what I wanted for a while? I was shifting the center of my life from neighbor and God back to me. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with reading fiction or sleeping in or doing things we enjoy doing. But what I didn't anticipate is that by focusing so much on what I enjoy doing for myself, I was actually feeling less overall joy than I did at the beginning of the summer when I was spending a lot of energy focusing on doing for others. I found that I was feeling more and more apathetic and tired. I was spending less time on things that are fun and more time just killing time with things like TV. While I'd not always described teaching my GED class or researching these videos as exactly fun, they're both very fulfilling and consistently make me feel a quiet joy in working to help other people. My service work usually makes me feel more energized and more alive. There's an image that my pastor shared a number of years ago that really spoke to me, and I've come back to it a number of times. Consider a wagon wheel. God is the hub. You're one of the spokes, and your neighbors are the other spokes. As you move closer to God, this will also cause you to draw closer to your neighbors, since the spokes are closer together in the center than they are along the rim. This also means that as you draw closer to your neighbors, you will also grow closer to God. I found a profound truth in this image. What I experienced over the summer is that the converse is also true. As I drew back from my neighbors, I became more distant from God. As I pulled back to focus on me, my wants, my fun, my life, both God and neighbor became further away. I learned that the more I focus on me, the more empty I feel, and the more I focus on God and others, the more fulfilled I am. I wonder if this is part of what Jesus meant in Mark 8:34-36 when he said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whosoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it." It took some time and effort to shift my focus away from myself and back to God and neighbor, but it's been worth it. Losing my time as I resumed my GED classes and these videos has helped me regain the full life that was missing over the summer. What insights do you have to share related to God, neighbors, serving, and self?